Hello everyone. Now let's continue the chapter. In my previous class, I taught you the chapter. We started the chapter. Madam rides the bus. We read how Wali developed a desire, a want to ride the bus. How she collected informations. Then how she collected money for her fare, and then she got in the bus, and now she is on her way to the town. Her first journey was careful, painstakingly, and elaborate plans. She had to make for it. She had thriftily saved whatever stray coins came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermints, toys, balloons, and light, and finally she had saved a total 60 pice. So it was her first journey, and she had taken a lot of pain to collect money for the fare, for the fare. Whatever money she got for the peppermints or to buy the toys, she saved penny by penny. And then she managed to gather the sufficient amount that was needed for the fare for both the sides, village to the town and again back from town to the village. She had saved a total of 60 pice. How difficult it had been. It had been very difficult. The money was given to her for buying toys, to buy chocolates. But she had, sacrificed her want. Somehow she had controlled her emotions and saved that money to fulfill her greatest desire to ride on a bus. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair, but she had resolutely stifled a strong desire to ride a merry-go-round even though she had the money. So, stifled a long desire. She had the money in the fair. She could have enjoyed that thing, but she didn't. She knew that if she would save that money, it will help her to fulfill her strongest desire, that is to ride a bus. After she had enough money saved, the next problem was how to slip out of the house without her mother's knowledge. So when she had sufficient money, now the problem was how she should go out without being noticed by her mother. It was the main problem, the money she had for the fare. Every day after lunch, her mother would nap from about 1 to 4 or so. So every day it was a routine that her mother would go for an afternoon nap from 1 p.m. to nearly 4 p.m. Wali always used to these hours for her excursions as she stood looking from the doorway of her house or sometimes even ventured out into the village. Today, these same hours could be used for her first excursion outside the village. So, her mother used to take the afternoon nap from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And this was the particular time when she used to stand at her house door and watch the activities that was going into the streets. Now that particular time can be utilized for her journey by bus. That means these time hours could be used for her excursion. That means she would be in the bus and enjoy the pleasant scenes, the natural beauty that she would view from the bus. The bus rolled on, now cutting across the bare landscape, now rushing through a tiny hamlet or past an old wayside shop. Sometimes the bus seemed on the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming toward them or pedestrian crossing the road. So the bus was passing through different landscapes rushing through the tiny hamlet or the past and odd wayside shop. Different types of shops were there along the roadside. Okay, sometimes it felt that Wali saw that another bus was coming, a vehicle was coming from the opposite direction. She felt that the bus, both of them would collide. Sometimes when a passenger, some people were trying to cross the road, she felt that the bus might hit that person who was trying to cross the road. But she had different experiences during the journey towards the town, But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly. So she saw that one other vehicle was coming from the opposite direction. She felt that both of them might collide, but they passed. Leaving all obstacles safely behind, trees came running toward them but then stopped as the bus reached them and simply stood there helpless for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in other direction. So she was sitting on the seat and she could see that she felt that all the trees, the bus was moving forward and the trees beside the road, she felt that they were coming towards her. And when they came face to face, she felt that they had stopped. And again she saw them running back. That means the bus was moving. And when we look out of the bus, we feel that the trees, they are coming towards us. Actually the bus keeps on moving. But for Wali, it was a very rare joy, rare moment that she wanted to enjoy it to her full. Suddenly, Wali clapped her hands with glee. That means she started clapping her hands with excitement, with happiness. A young cow, tail high in the air, was running very fast right in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. She saw that a cow with raised tail, it was running in the middle of the road, in front of the bus. The bus slowed to a crawl and to avoid the cow so that it should not be hit, the speed of the bus slowed down. The bus slowed to a crawl and the driver sounded his horn loudly again and again. But the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became. And faster it galloped right in front of the bus. The driver started blowing the horn. And when the cow heard the horn, she started galloping. She started running in front of the bus. Always right in front of the bus. Galloped always right in front of the bus. And that scene was enjoyed by Wali. The way the cow got frightened, panicked, and it was running on the road, in middle of the road, in front of the bus, and the bus was moving slowly. So it was a very, Wali was enjoying that scene, seeing the cow running in haste. Somehow this was very funny to Wali. She laughed and laughed until there was tears in her eyes. So she laughed to such an extent that tears rolled down her eyes. Hey lady, haven't you laughed enough? Called the conductor. Better save some for tomorrow. And the conductor was very happy to see Wali enjoying that scene. And he told her that she should save some of her laughs for the next day. She should not invest or waste all her laughs that particular day. लेकिन कल के लिए कुछ खुशी अपने हंसी को बचा के रखे. At last the cow moved off the road and soon the bus came to a railroad crossing. A speck of train could be seen in the distance, growing bigger and bigger as it drew nearer. Then the cow moved off the road. Then the bus came to a railroad crossing. The bus stopped there. Wali could see from distance the train was approaching. The train was a small jet, but as it was coming nearer, the size of the bus was increasing. The train was increasing. The bus was standing at a railway crossing. Then it rushed past the crossing gate with a tremendous roar and rattle, shaking the bus. And then the train crossed the crossing. And then there was dust. The bus rattled with the wave that was produced by the wind. There was a lot of dust. We have seen when we are at the railway platform or the crossing where the train passes at speed, there is a lot of dust. Even it moves, the vehicle shake, tremble. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. From there traversed a busy, well laid out shopping street and turning entered a wider thoroughfare. Such big, bright looking shop, what a glittering display of clothes and other merchandise. Such big crowds. And Wali was, then the bus started moving towards the main market in the town. Wali was surprised to see, very happy to see, pleased to see that different shop, big shop, which he had never seen in a village. And outside in the shop displayed beautiful dresses, eatable, different shops were there and many things were there in the showcase. It was for the first time that Wali had seen such type of expensive, good, beautiful things. It was not there in the village. What a glittering display of clothes and other merchandise. That means she was, you can say she appreciated or she was fascinated by the display in the shop. Struck dumb with wonder, Wali gaped at everything. So she gaped because she had never seen that much crowd which she saw at the bus stop. She had never seen such big, shops, such expensive and beautiful clothes. So she was shocked. She gaped. She was surprised. Struck dumb. She could not utter a word. Wali gaped at everything. Then the bus stopped and everyone got off except Wali. Everybody got down the bus. But only Wali remained in the bus. Hey ladies, said the conductor, aren't you ready to get off? This is far as your 30 pies takes you. And then the conductor went to Wali and asked her if she wasn't going to get down. And he told Wali that the fare, that 30 pies that was given to him, had exhausted. That means she could not travel in the bus with the same fare, with the same ticket. No, Wali said, I am going back on this same bus. And Wali told him that she wasn't going to get down, but she would go back to the village by the same bus. She took another 30 pies from her pocket and handed the coin to the conductor. She took another 30 pies from her pocket and handed it to the conductor. Why is something the matter? And then the conductor asked, why she wasn't going to get down? Why she was again going to the village if there was any matter? No, nothing the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride, that's all. And Wali said, no, there was nothing. No matter what there. She just felt like to have a ride on the bus. Don't you want to have a look at the sights now that you are here? And then she asked her if she was not interested in going around in the market, around the bus stop to have a look at the different things displayed. All by myself, I would be much too afraid. And she said that all by herself. She was all alone. And she did not have the courage to leave the bus and go alone in that big area, the big market. She was afraid. She was scared. Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor said, but you weren't afraid to come in the bus? And the conductor was very much influenced, very much attracted by the way Wali was responding to his words. He asked her that why she wasn't afraid when she was coming in the bus all alone. Nothing to be afraid of about that, she answered. She said that she was not afraid of traveling in the bus alone. But she was afraid to go alone in that big place, in the big market. She might be lost. She might lost her way. Well then, why not to go to that stall over there and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid of about that either. And then he told her that she should go to that particular shop and have something to drink. And he told her that she should not be afraid of anything. He was there to take care of her. Oh no, I couldn't do that. And she said no, she couldn't do that. She didn't want to go out of the bus. Well then, let me bring you a cold drink. And then the conductor told Wali that he would go and bring a cold drink for Wali. "No, I don't have enough money. Just give me my ticket, that's all." And she said no. She was not going to have the drink because she didn't have sufficient money to pay for the drink. She only told him that he should give her the ticket for her return fare. "It will be my treat and not cost you anything." And the conductor said that it would be a treat from him. He was not going to charge any money for the drink. "No, no," she said to him, "please no." And very firmly she said that no. She was not going to take anything from him. But she only told him that he should give the ticket for her return journey. The conductor shrugged, that means shrugged his shoulder. He agreed with her. And they waited until it was time for the bus to begin the return journey. Again, there weren't many passengers. And now they waited for the time for the bus return journey. Again, the bus started the journey, its return journey to the village. But again, there were very few passengers were there, very less passengers were there. "Won't your mother be looking for you?" the conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. The conductor asked Valli when he gave her the ticket if her mother would be looking for her. No one will be looking for me. And she said no one would be looking for her. The bus started, and again there was the same wonderful sight. The bus started again the return journey, and again Valli was having the same natural beauty. She was enjoying the bus ride, looking outside, enjoying the view outside the bus. Valli wasn't bored in the slightest and greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. So she wasn't bored seeing the same thing or witnessing the same thing while during the return journey. But she received them, welcomed the same thing, the same view with great excitement. She had felt the first time the things that she had seen, the trees, the shops, whatever she had seen for the first time during her journey to the town, when she was having the view of the same thing, but she welcomed them with interest, with happiness. She didn't get bored to see them again. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast-moving vehicle. And then she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside. It was hit by some vehicle. "Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on our trip to the town?" she asked the conductor. And she asked the conductor. She wanted to get confirmed whether it was the same cow that was running in front of the bus while the bus was going to the town. The conductor nodded, and she was overcome with sadness. Yes, the conductor gave his consent. Yes, it was the same cow, and she was filled with sadness. She was filled with sorrow. What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little while ago, and now suddenly lost its charm and life, and looked so horrible. And the conductor nodded, and then she felt that some time before, few minutes before, the cow was so lovable, so beautiful creature. But after half an hour, the same creature was lying dead, and it was looking so horrible, filled with blood, lying dead. The same creature which had been lovable few minutes before, now it was lying dead, and it was very horrible sight to see. So frightening as it lay there, legs spread, eagle, a fixed stare in its lifeless eyes, blood all over. So its eyes were open, and it was staring in a particular direction. The legs were spread. There was blood everywhere. It was a very horrible sight to see. But for the first time when she had seen the cow, she was enjoying the way it was running in front of the bus in the middle of the road. But after some time, the scene was changed. She was very much sorrow. She was feeling sad for the cow. The bus moved on, Memory of the dead cow haunted her. Dampening her enthusiasm, she no longer wanted to look out of the window. So the bus moved on. She still has the memory of the cow, the dead body of the cow in her mind. And now she was very calm. She remained calm throughout the journey. She did not, she could not get the courage. I did not have the courage to look out of the bus again. Because the dead body of the cow or the death of the cow has made her sad, depressed. She sat thus, glued to her seat until the bus reached her village at 3:40. She reached the village. She remained calm, did not make any type of sound in the bus. She did not stand on the seat, but she remained seated in the bus. She stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, dear sir, I hope to see you again." She went near the gate. She turned to the conductor and said, "Okay." She hoped to see the conductor soon. "Okay, madam," he answered her, smiling. "Whenever you feel like a bus had come and joined us, and you don't forget to bring your fare." And the conductor said, "Yes, okay, madam." Whenever she would feel to have a bus ride, she could come and have the trip, enjoy the trip, but she should not forget to bring her fare. She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, running straight for her. And then she started laughing at the words of the conductor. She jumped from the bus and started running towards her house. When she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking to one of Vali's aunts. And when she went home, she was shocked to see that her mother was awake. And one of her aunts had come there and she was talking to her. The one from the south street. This aunt was a real chatterbox. Chatterbox, बहुत ही बातूनी, talkative. Never closing her mouth once she started talking. And that aunt of her was very talkative. Once she would start talking, she would never close her mouth. "And where have you been?" she said her aunt when Vali came in. And when Vali came in, her aunt asked her where she had been. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply. And she spoke in a very casual manner. And she did not expect any reply from Vali. So Vali just smiled, and her mother and aunt went on with their conversation. So Vali did not answer where she had been. She just smiled at her aunt. And her mother and her aunt, they started their conversation. "Yes, you are right," her mother said. "So midst and in the world outside." And then she could hear that her mother and her aunt were talking, that many things were going around in their society or around them. But how can we possibly know about everything? But how can they come to know about everything that is going around them those things are not in their notice. They are unaware of those activities which are going around in their locality. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely, can we? So many things in our midst and in the world outside. That means among them, in the family also, many things are going on, but they are unaware. Many things are going around in the society, but they are unaware of the thing, unless they are informed or told. And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely. And even if they come to know about the matter, but unless that matter is explained to them, they cannot reach the conclusion. They cannot understand it clearly. "Oh yes," breathed Vali, and Vali also said yes. She gave her consent. "What?" asked her mother. "What is that you say?" And then her mother was surprised to see the Vali giving her consent. So her mother asked, "What did she say?" So Vali wanted to say that her aunt and her mother were there at home. she had gone on a trip to the town. She had returned back. This thing had happened, but they are unaware. They could not even think. They could not even imagine that Valli had been to the town, had traveled in the bus. Oh, said Valli, I was just agreeing with that, what you said about things happening without our knowledge. And she said that she was also agreed with their words that things were happening without their knowledge. That means Valli went to the town, had a bus journey, had a bus ride, but it was not informed. She did not inform it to her parents, her mother. So she did it without their notice. They could not come to know, or they did not know that Valli had just returned from a trip from the town. Just a chit of girl she is, and her aunt said, she is a small child, she should not take her words seriously. And yet look how she pokes her nose into her conversation just as though she were a grown-up lady. And her aunt said, she is a small girl. But the way she spoke in their conversation, in their talk, that the way she interpreted in their talk, जैसे कि कोई बड़ी grown-up औरत लड़की करती है. And she also said that a lot of things were going around in the house or outside in the house. But nobody can understand, nobody can come to know about it unless they are told or informed. Valli smiled to herself at the words of her aunt, because she really knew why she gave her consent to the words of her aunt and her mother. Because she had just returned from a trip to the town. But her parents were unaware of the fact where she had been. She didn't want them to understand her smile, and she didn't want that they should understand, or they should come to know where she had been. Otherwise, she was going to receive beatings or scoldings. But then there wasn't much chance of that, was there? And then she knew that her mother was not going to come to know about her trip or the bus ride. Okay? Thank you, everybody.